Let's see what we can fuck with next.
Oh, that's what the New York Giants do every single week. This is Tim's New York Giants Trade Talk, powered by Leon Light Big Blue LLC. The Giants dropped this one 34-27 to the Detroit Lions. Another 17-point swing in the fourth quarter in that overtime. Even when the Giants are fun to watch, even when you've caught the Detroit Lions on an off day, we still fuck things up. But you know what? Of course, this show, New York Giants Trade Talk, is brought to you by the mighty FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. We're going to talk about FanDuel in a moment, but I want to talk about Jameis Winston. I want to talk about the New York Giants' lack thereof defense. Just want to talk about this in general. It was the trickery of the New York Giants that really kept them in this game. It was Jameis Winston and his 366 yards. Yeah, he's going to give you that interception. Yeah, he's going to take that big sack at that most inopportune time at the end of the game. But it was those factors that really concluded the Giants staying in this game for as long as they did, dropping this one, like I said, 34-27. You were I'm watching this game going into the fourth quarter, and the Giants are winning, and I looked to Mrs. Online Big Blue and I said, we're gonna fuck this up. We are truly going to fuck this up, because if you take a look at what Gibbs did, the Detroit ran the ball 20 times for 237 yards. You had the big 69-yard run from Gibbs. You had the 2 touchdowns. Stopping the run is not our forte. You had St. Brown, of course, with 9 receptions for 149. He had that big touchdown that was also on 13 targets. You just kind of had a feeling that the Giants were going to drop this one when they were in it. And like I said, they were in it. You can do this for a period of time. You can have the trickery. You can have the skullduggery. But sooner or later, you're going to have to play defense. Sooner or later, you're going to have a offense that has an understanding and ability to have protracted drives and not just score off trick plays. Now the Giants held the ball for 37 minutes because every time the Lions would get the ball, the Lions would just score, especially in that second half and those 17 points. You also have to remember there was a 17-point second quarter. Giants were moving and grooving, and then, like I said, they came back. It then ended 20-17 in the second half. Going into the second half, it was just like I said, good or bad or indifferent, no matter what you want to say to the Giants. This is a bad team. This is a bad team offensively. This is a bad team defensively. People talk about the fact they ran for the 122 yards. Of course, we're not going to talk about that we had it for 39 carries and only ran the ball 3.1 yards. The goal of the Giants on this game was to keep the Detroit Lions offense off the field. And when it counted, when we needed a big drive, when we needed an extended drive, we just couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. And I'm not even going to get into what I was going to talk about, but can we just bring this up now that Darius Alexander now has more sacks than the venerable Abdul Carter? I always love Abdul Carter.
I went like this. He went like that. I said to Abdul, where'd he go? Abdul said, where'd who go?
I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying this again. People are talking about his 3 quarterback hits. Oh, they're going to talk about all these things, except at the end of the day, your job is to get tackles and sacks and tackles for losses. When you have the venerable Darius Alexander come in and show you up with 2 tackles for losses, of course, with the 2 sacks as well, and the 4 total tackles, there's a problem deep in there. There's a problem in there. Of course, if you go to mightyfanduel.com, that's the mighty FanDuel, and that's FanDuel.com, the #1 sports book in America. FanDuel will tell you the Lions were 10.5-point favorites. New customers of FanDuel bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Of course, that is on the NFL. But FanDuel is so much more than NFL. They got casino games, they got fantasy, they got sports racing, they got research, they got the FanDuel TV, which I'm telling you, I actually started watching quite a bit. They have all these little things that you can be doing within this app. I love FanDuel. We've talked about it before, and I was always be responsible gaming with FanDuel. But they had them. They had the Lions as 10.5-point favorites. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I loved it because there was talk on the broadcast about, the Giants if they scored, if they were going to go for 2. I was sitting here laughing going, we're not going to score. Something stupid is going to happen because it's the Giant way. Mike Kafka is now 0-2 as a head coach. And I know a lot of people are going to sit there and tell me, well, he's 0-2 with the head coach, but this team is playing much better. Well, the end results are the fucking same. And I'm not going to sit here and blame, of course, Shane Bowen like we all want to do, because you're going up against the high-powered offense. The problem is this, and the problem has always been this with the New York Football Giants. You can't stop the fucking run. You cannot give up 200 yards per week and expect to win any games. Yes, you want to keep prolific offenses off the field by, controlling the clock. But the problem is this, once you score, you got to stop them somehow. And when you give up 219 yards on 15 carries, Gibbs could have ran for 300. You literally have 3 guys, and Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau, of course, Kayvon Thibodeau wasn't playing, that do exactly the same fucking thing. Had limited ability outside of Brian Burns to rush the passer, and then have no ability to stop the run or prevent the run. You want to talk about Darius Alexander? Great. I'm watching people just bust through that line like Darius Alexander wasn't there, but thank God he had the 2 sacks. Abdul Carter can't even get that. We're going to have to hear about all the injuries and all these other problems. You are a 2-10 team. Figure shit out, guys. You're 2-10. You're not going anywhere. And like I said, it was a fun game to watch, but all the deficiencies and all the problems and everything that occurred before Mike Kafka is still happening now. It's just we're trying to use a little bit more trickery, a little bit more skullduggery to score points. And I give the Giants and the offensive staff all the credit in the world for that, because of the fact that's what you have to do when you're this type of team. Big news this Wednesday coming up. Carl Banks making a second appearance, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the live stream. We're having a live stream on Wednesday. We don't usually have live streams on Wednesdays. We're having a live stream Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the venerable Carl Banks. Carl's making a second appearance, as of course we're closing out the channel in February. So Carl was nice enough to make a return appearance. So look out for that thumbnail coming up. We'll also have the live stream on Monday. It'll probably be at 3 p.m. once again. But again, this is Tim, this New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by the Mighty FanDuel. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'm out of here.